welcome to the show. The geopolitical area now called Nigeria was not a political vacuum before the advent of the Europeans. That's something to remember, good people. To attain success, both natural talent and tears, blood and sweat will be called for. Genius is 1% inspiration, but 99% perspiration. Another thing to remember, good people. Imagination was given to man to compensate himself for what he is not. It could sound as a set of humor to adore himself for what he is not. Welcome to Audacity of Truth that comes to you live from the studios of AKBC Channel 45 with you. Good people, I am Samuel Joshua, but that's not the issue. The issue is that I have important guests, journalists from head to toe, from top, as my friend says, from top to bottom, in the studio to this morning. Good people, let me introduce the one and only erudite journalist, a pastor in the house, Pastor Endurance. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
As editor of Golden Times newspaper.
Good morning, viewers.
And associate producer of Audacity of Truth. Yeah, welcome once again.
Thank you very much, sir.
And then I have a performing chairman. One of the, I think 14 chapels now. 16 chapels in Akwa Ibom State NUJ Council. That is Akwa Ibom State Council. We have 16 chapels. Now, one of the performing and the foremost chairman of one of the chapels is here as my guest this morning, Nsibet John. Nsibet John is the chairman of the Federated Chapel of NUJ. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here. Hi, viewers. Good morning to everybody.
Yeah, I'm out the job. I hope you are not there. You are okay?
Yes, I am. Fantastically okay.
Fantastically.
Riding on.
Anyway, when the equations come, you will know the difference. Yes, and I have a person that I've never had in my show before, a first timer, is Emmanuel Akpan. Not Emmanuel Akpan, but Emmanuel Akpan, which is a first son in Ibibio land. Emmanuel Akpan happened to be the chairman of Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, Akwa Ibom State. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
You're happy?
Yes.
Iman, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Nothing for now.
Just nothing?
Yes, but
Is it starvation or breakfast?
He doesn't do
fasting.
breakfast. He doesn't do breakfast.
Is it a fasting or starvation?
He doesn't do breakfast. He's checking his weight.
Okay, now, your own, what did you have?
No, I don't do breakfast. I'm not a fan of breakfast. I enjoy lunch, just lunch, and that's what I'm for.
Is it for religious grounds?
Not for religious grounds.
Okay, you are checking weights.
I wouldn't know whether I'm checking, but I'm not a fan of food. That's the truth. I'm not a fan of food, and so when you bring breakfast, it becomes a bit troubling.
Okay.
It can make me very dull the whole day, and you know, as a journalist, you don't need to be dull.
I didn't know. See, you say as I know, I don't know. So, you don't like much of food in the morning?
No, not much of food. I don't like.
It's okay. You say it keeps you alert.
It keeps you alert, mentally strong and sound.
Cover the dormant protest of people who says people should leave the office. That's unemployment and underemployment. That's what my friend tweeted. He said, you see what underemployment and unemployment could cause. You are fighting a war that you can never win. They can never win that war. It's as simple as that. You don't fight a war you will not win. If all states, when you lose election or you have problems, you go to picket a sanctuary, a place that the sanctity of democracy is in the INEC. You go to picket there, as if you are picketing any other office, because of grouse. Then if INEC headquarters bug to that, all other states will join. So there are wars that you don't win. Anyway, good people, Endurance did not take breakfast.
I did.
What did you
my
take?
breakfast.
I say, what did you take?
I had jollof rice, what we call jollof rice.
Okay. That's the one they call jollof rice.
Chicken, yes, a piece of chicken.
Okay, piece.
Yeah.
Not pieces.
A piece.
A piece of chicken.
Yes.
What do you use to bring it down?
Just water.
No dessert. Water. No dessert.
No.
Okay. You miss it? Was it deliberate?
Let me put it deliberate in view of time. Because of time, I was trying to meet up.
But was it a lack of the dessert?
No, it was not a lack of a dessert. It was a deliberate.
You have it at home?
Yes.
Okay. What was the dessert that you have at home?
Cucumber.
Cucumber for dessert.
Yes.
Is that what you did in America?
cucumber and
Which state were you in America? Ohio. Ohio. That's what they use cucumber as a dessert.
We must have it here. You can't compare the economy
you
here.
See, when you want to deal with Nigerians, you talk to people who don't know what desserts are. They will not agree with you that cucumber could go for a good dessert.
Well,
then you grow up. What about watermelon? What about small piece of orange? Anyway, that is it. MC Ben, you're welcome to the
Thank
show.
you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. How do you feel, Chief?
Well, I'm very, very happy. Like I said earlier, I am feeling very, very much okay.
Okay. But the problem is that in this show, don't start your statement with well because he will so weak, and I will be able to punch you. And don't call me sir, because when you call me sir, it's a bribe. You want me to tune down. Yes. See, but let's start with Federated Church Chapel.
Yeah.
You came on board just some few months ago.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go, even as you were coming to the studio, a lawyer who was in the other live program congratulated you. He has seen your award. And maybe because he spoke a Ekate language, so I may not know if there was any bias. Federated Chapel, few months back, how far so far?
Well, let me start by debunking the light claim. Let me use the word light claim that that lawyer,
no, don't forget about it.
Yes, could have been biased because of the dialectical position we share.
Was it a coincidence?
It was a coincidence.
Dialectical coincidence.
If you recollect, he was not only the one that spoke good about Federated Chapel. The other lawyer, former leader of the Toulouse.
No, excuse me,
yes.
Please don't mention
also,
names.
Okay, also spoke good
it's
about Federated Chapel. Yes, so far.
Okay,
so
in the
good.
lighter mode.
Yes.
So far,
so good. It's been a journey of ups and downs.
How many days in office?
Well, I've been 120 days or thereabout. We were inaugurated on the 26th.
That's about 4 months now.
Yes, about 4 months. 26th of February. We inaugurated on the 26th of February, and we set the ball rolling by engaging our members intellectually, socially, and otherwise, and in every aspect we could ever think of. This is because, why it is this way is because we were prepared for leadership. When we were campaigning, when I said we, I mean the leadership of Federated Chapel.
I understand.
When we were campaigning and seeking to serve members of the chapel, we told them what we intend to do. We made it very clear that as leaders, if you entrust us with your mandate, we will not fail on our campaign promises. And that, to an extent, we have been able to deliver. For the challenges we envisaged, we are facing them and taking on them headlong. And for those challenges we did not envisage, we are trying to ensure that we don't allow those challenges to wear us down. And it's been a journey that we expect and believe that at the end of the day, members of the chapel would be happy that they elected us and entrusted their mandate on us. We are also hopeful that at the end of our services to the Federated Chapel, the larger journalist forum, other members of the NUJ would have seen that the leadership structure of Federated Chapel, under my stewardship as the chairman, has been able to give to the chapel a first lift in terms of quality leadership. And this is not made possible by my own self alone. I have to give glory to God, first of all, because He is the author and finisher of our own faith. He's the one that gives wisdom, the one that gives direction, and is the one that empowers us with the blessings and the fortune that we have so far shared to members of the chapel and beyond. I also like to commend my own brother and friend, Comrade Mosetuk, the chairman of NUJ Akwa Ibom State Council, because he gave a marching order to all the leaders of chapels during a state executive council meeting that you are not elected a leader of a chapel to come and be using your eyes to sit or to preside over congresses of your chapels, but to ensure that you bring quality leadership to the table. That's what the chairman said. And now we had to tap from what he has been doing over time as the chairman of the state council. He has organized seminars, retreats.
Please talk about your
yes, and that is why we have keyed into that and organize seminar for members.
Yes, that is why I want to ask this as a follow-up question. Is
yes.
What activities have you been doing?
Well,
some of us might have seen it, but for the purpose of being in the program, you should tell the public.
Now, I would
There's
like to
something
talk
wrong.
about the activities that we have done
Yes,
since
so
we
far.
came on board. The first major activity we had was a one-day retreat for members of the chapel. It was largely attended, and during that retreat, we had the Chancellor of Ibom Petrot, Obongba Sinoyan, as the chairman, and we had a lot of others that came to share thoughts with us and sharpen our intellect to understand modern day journalism. You know, journalism is a developing profession. A lot of things happen today. Those things will determine also what happens in the coming years and the coming months. And after then, we also had a one-day free medical services for members of the union and those that are not also members of the union, so that we had people from different chapels came to benefit from there. We had media workers that are not journalists. We also had people within the community that came to benefit from that package. Why we had to engage in this?
Which community are you talking about?
The NUJ community.
Okay.
NUJ community. You know, when we talk about medical services, journalists work so hard that they forget to take good care of themselves. A journalist could resume work by 7 a.m. and retires by 2 a.m. and by 5 a.m. he or she is already up pursuing this business. You know, in journalism, we don't mind our business. We do other people's business, and that is why it is commonly said.
So medical outreach was another thing you've done.
Yes, that was the second.
But on the light time, somebody told me that
Yes.
in CBA, every congress that they have in the chapel is greeted by a she-goods and some drinks.
That's correct. The person is not lying.
That's correct.
That's correct. Perfectly correct. For every
Suya
congress,
party.
yes, for every congress we have, we ensure that we treat our members to sumptuous entertainment. The person is correct. We are looking beyond that now, and we'll be doing more of that.
There was a time you were a commissioner for entertainment. Have you brought that to bear in your chapel?
Well, I'm yet to be officially named the commissioner for entertainment. I'm hoping.
But this achievement can never go without support.
Yes.
Do you derive your support from your wife at home?
That's a difficult. I wouldn't know whether that's a difficult question. That's a controversial question. I don't have a wife yet. I don't have a wife.
You mean
yet.
it?
Yes, I don't have a wife.
But how do you succeed this way?
Well, I have God.
Okay, do you feel that women can assist in the success of a certain man?
Fantastic. Women are a major,
How fantastic
a major
it is.
and a needed
How
catalyst
fantastic is
for the success of any man.
Okay, Iman is almost chilling. So what's the problem? Okay, I'll come back to you.
Thank you, sir.
Iman, yes, Swan, Sports Writers Association. You took off from Solomon Bassi, and Weko was there before Solomon Bassi, and then you took up from Solomon Bassi, and you have been there for some few years now. How far so far?
Swan, like you rightly said, has to do with sport reporting, sport promotion of sporting events in the states and across the states. And when I took over as the chairman of Swan in the Akwa Ibom State, that was on the 5th of 2020. Yes, 2022. That's 2 years ago. Though immediately after my election, we had what was known as COVID-19, total lockdown, partial lockdown, and the rest. Almost 1 year.
Total and
Yes,
partial.
yes.
Okay.
Almost 1 year, we couldn't do anything. But immediately those things were over, we started, operating, and we have, by the grace of God, 2 years and some months now, we have, by the grace of God, achieved some things which we did not have, from the past administration. For instance, during my tenure as Swan chairman, I have been able to organize a seminar for my members. At least, apart from reporting, we have to also, where we had a Professor Uwemekpan, who came to talk to us. We had directors of sports in the Ministry of Youth and Sport who came to talk to us, and also they taught us how to report some certain sports outside football. Because of most of our sport journalists, they are really into football reporting. I needed to organize
Following
that.
the train of
Yes,
Nigeria.
yes. I needed
Nigeria
to-
looks
of
so much
course.
of. Once you mention sports in Nigeria, it seems as if you are talking about football.
Yes. So I needed to organize that seminar so that they can teach us how to report rugby, teach us how to report table tennis and badminton and the rest of the sports. Aside from that, we also ensure that we have to divert from football. I engage my members that we should go on a courtesy call because in the what we say we have 30 sport associations, football, badminton, weightlifting, and the rest is 30 from the Ministry of Youth and Sport. We have to engage them on a courtesy call to know what are their challenges. So also bring it to the limelight because apart from I have seen that in Akwa Ibom State, with due respect to people in government, we are really putting finances into football and other sports are dying. So we needed to engage our members on a courtesy call to other sports to know their challenges. Which
Diversification. You diversify from.
yes. So that was because most of these sport associations, SWAN members are media officers of those sport associations. Through our members in those sport associations, we engage them in trying to know one or two issues affecting them, especially funds, and which through us, some of them have been revived partly from government. Outside that, we had to, because I remember when I was a SWAN member in those days, we used to have a congress once in a blue moon, and sometimes like 2 months or 3 months we would not meet. During my campaign, I had told my members that if they elect me, that I will ensure that we meet every month. And now since then till today, we meet as a congress every month to discuss the way forward, to also talk about the issues of sport development and other issues like that concerns sport reporting in the state. Apart from that, we were able to, like just the last month in the history of our SWAN in the state, we were able to secure an office space. It has never happened before. In those days, we used to just loiter around, and when you want to see the SWAN chairman, you will be calling him, and he will be telling you, meet me at so junction, meet me at so place. But now, by the grace of God,
Which place?
and
Yes,
I won't.
drinking sport.
No, I won't want to mention the but by the grace of God.
So
and,
now you have an office?
Yes,
Oh.
at the NUJ Press Center. And I want to also thank the chairman of NUJ, who is our member. Through our application and appeal, he gave us a space that now you can address SWAN, and even if you want to meet the SWAN chairman now, you can address and meet him at the office space at the NUJ.
So he gave that to you because he's a member of SWAN?
No. I wouldn't say he gave us because already.
Because a lot of other people are there. Like I am also in aviation reportage, but it's not known here. And then I'm also a member of there. In oil and gas reportage. So why do you discover that there's no specialized reportage in Nigeria? That's as far as Akwa Ibom State is concerned. It's a worry. We don't have specialty. You talk about SWAN, just one of it.
Yes.
But now, what about aviation, which I belong to? What about oil and gas reportage, which I even went for a conference sponsored by Dane Mobile Producing. Mobile producing the whole Nigeria. So, why do you think that SWAN should be given much prominence than other, beat reportage?
Those things has to do with leadership. Like SWAN, since the creation of this state, we have had SWAN. We have had leaders of SWAN,
Yes,
chairman of SWAN, and the NUJ secretariat. We have had that secretariat there for like almost how many years now. But I wouldn't want to, run my past chairman down. But none of them could have seen the vision that it is high time we have a space.
Excuse me, please. This is Audacity of Truth. You are not in any way running down somebody. To tell the obvious does not constitute defamation. Now, in my tenure, I am able to do this. Does it mean anything running somebody down? No, please, go ahead. This is Audacity of Truth. For the only fact is that you will not mention the names of your predecessors in the negative. That's all. So go ahead.
When I came on board, when we travel outside the states, And when I call my colleague, maybe in any state that I visit, I will call you, say, I am at my office, so come and meet me. And when you go, you will see a SWAN office. Sometimes you see a SWAN secretariat.
So your own was a drinking
And when I used to ask myself, what are we even doing in the Kwai State? So SWAN doesn't have an office. And I needed to meet my ESCO members. I said, look, it is high time we need to see how we can get an office space. But to God be the glory, just last month, we were given an official letter allocating an office space for SWAN at the Engineering Secretariat, which is very, 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 very commendable.
Okay, very, 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 very commendable. We'll hold it there. And there as well. How do you see the effect of online newspapers? That's hard copy newspapers like Golden Times, like the Ink, the Red Ink, and some other newspapers that we have. How do you see that online reportage, reading newspapers headlines online, has been able to affect the marketing of the newspapers that we produce? How do you see that?
We are living in a technological era.
Granted.
Where so many people are attached to their device, their cell phones. And now, since they're attached to their cell phones, they get a lot of information from their cell phones. Now, you see, although we still find people stand in the newsstand where you know this Free Readers Association.
Is it registered?
It's not registered. That's the only association I'm not seeing registered. So they stand there and they start analyzing. You see, those days, there used to be much that you think something is happening. And the newsstand used to be a large table where you see all the local newspapers, all of on that newsstand. But these days, you just find a few persons, a few vendors carrying few copies and then selling it, even advertising it. Then you used to go to the newsstand and get your copy. Even when you're driving to work, you stop by, you get a copy. You have people that come to your office. They have vendors bring papers to your office and distribute. But now you see people get a lot of information online.
Yeah.
They get this online. So with that, it has also affected the hard copies. But that does not deter publishers from publishing the newspapers, because however it turns out, people will still get to read the hard copies. People will still get information from there. You see, we don't limit source of information to one aspect, one area. It has to be diversified.
Beautiful. Let me follow up there. I'm talking as a businessman.
Okay.
I publish newspaper.
Yes.
And people are not buying it because they are reading my contents online.
Yes.
How does it affect my business?
It affects your business in the sense that you will not get a return. Every business needs
I hope
a
you
return.
get my question.
I get your question.
My angle of going.
Yes.
I'm talking like a businessman.
Yes. Everybody gets the essence of doing business is to maximize profit.
Oh, you know that.
And now when you don't maximize profit, it means that business stands a huge risk of collapsing. But in newspaper, I know there are things that sustains newspapers, like inserts, adverts, placements.
Yes.
Those things are things that sustains newspapers. Then so when you see, that is why you see some people, you may not see them every day, and some people struggle. Some publishers struggle to publish papers, and you find their life dwindling. You find things going through so much stress, financial stress, and all that other stress, just trying to meet up that their papers will be out. But we need to also wake up to know that this is a different era, that without these three things, adverts, placements, inserts, that the paper, you can't run a paper, that you find out that your business will be collapsing. So you don't struggle, but you don't have to go out and look for how to get these three things so as to keep your paper running, because it will cover for your expenses, to cover the cost, and also give you the profit that you need, where you don't get so much profit by public reading.
Okay. Now, Nsibe, look at it from this newspaper issue.
Yeah.
Does it worry you at all when one is producing newspaper and then the patronage of circulation is not being appreciated? And then again, coupled with the cost of production of newspapers, a ream of newsprint should be as high as 9,000 naira.
10,000.
In the Buhari's 10,000 naira in the Buhari's magical economy. This is a magical economy because economy that does not have any formula. You know,
It's
there's no
magical.
formula. It's magical.
Yeah.
Magical voodoo economy, in short.
Miraculous economy.
Voodoo economy. So does it bother you
Yeah,
to,
it
as a
does,
publisher?
as,
Does it bother you to?
As one that is in the business, is a cause of concern that you spend money. You're not looking at only buying of reams of papers, apart from buying the production materials.
The
You are
graphics.
paying your graphics. You are paying
The
your
impression.
staff, your impression, your computer services.
I'm
You are
telling you.
paying for utility bills like power
Of
supply,
course. The
water,
office
and
space.
all of that, office space. And then the patronage is not encouraging. Patronage could be looked at in terms of the number of adverts that is sent.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
The volume of insert, like Endurance noted,
Yes.
that you have.
And placements.
And the volume of how much and how many copies have been sold.
Sold.
How many have you printed and how many have you sold? And it worries us, not only myself, it worries me and many others that are into publishing. But then the society is driven today by technology. So would you say because of that you have to shut down, you don't produce again? No. What you rather do this time around is to think, like my friends would say, to think outside the box. If it is not every information that you have on your hard copy that you should allow to run on the internet, at least allow.
That's business
Yes.
techniques now. You are telling us the techniques.
Yes.
Yeah.
Allow
Survival
the news-
techniques.
Yeah, exactly.
Survival.
Allow the news to run, and thereafter we can now place it online. But then the challenge we always do have most times is that someone that is on the internet, he may not be a blogger, may not be professionally trained as a blogger, but he just wants to have a lot of likes, a lot of comments on the post he makes. He sees that this particular news story is traffic driven. He picks the hard copy of the paper, scans the report, and then pushes it on his page. People now get to read that one. They will not buy that paper again. So despite the technique publishers adopt to break even, these gentlemen and these ladies that are out to be funny still adopt their own technique also, without any recourse to laws of libel and copyright. But then what do you do in that case? You have to constantly think outside the box to ensure that whatever you publish,
If only when there was a box.
if only when there was a box, you have to generate a box.
With this kind of economy,
You have to generate a
I'm
box.
getting worried with this kind of economy because you wake up this morning, you see that the gas is the cheapest you can have gas per kg is 800 naira.
Well,
And then look at diesel. Look at the cost of diesel. It's about approaching 1,000 naira. Now look at kerosene for cooking. So we wake up and they say, oh, Nigeria, the country is moving forward. I say, wake up. What is called reverse? If the economy of Nigeria today is moving forward, Iman, what is called reverse? Because when you drive a car, you know there's a reverse. Although you don't say reverse back on my program anymore. So if Nigeria, if federal government, Buhari's government, late government, is saying that Nigeria is moving forward, what then is called reverse?
Well,
You've come with this, you are wearing it.
you know, I wouldn't say
You look like a government person. You know, a lapdog. In journalism, a lapdog. Because when you see the questions now, which is a very simple question to this guy, he says, well, and this, are you a government person?
I'm not
That's a government journalist.
I'm not a government
You understand who is the government journalist? That's the one that supports government, everything the government does.
No, I'm not a government person, and that is why I always, anytime I meet any government officials that has to do with me directly, I will always tell him, you people are not trying with us. So I'm not a government person.
So
Because I have challenges.
but if
as
they
a
try
such.
with you, then they will be a good government.
Because I have challenges
So, before we go on break, how do you see when government brings a rhetoric? We are moving forward. We are improving. In fact, security is improving. Power is going to improve. And but yet, you see that we are getting lower every day. You know what happened in Zamfara? Lieutenant Colonel is being gone down. Then the other time it was a major general. A general is being gone down by non-state actors. But yet we are saying we are moving forward. I'm asking you, if this Buhari's government is moving forward, what is called reverse?
The only challenge there is that those moving forward is always will I use the word audio moving forward.
How?
They are just coming to tell us on camera that we are moving forward. Meanwhile, the reality is that we are not moving forward.
That's you are reversing.
Yes.
So
The reality is that we are not moving forward.
why can't your colleagues who are journalists with the president and this government not tell us the truth that come, people are dying. That Nigeria is a headquarter, world capital of poverty. Why can't they tell us that?
That is where we
They are
have
your colleagues.
they are my colleagues, but that's where we have most of our colleagues who are doing psychophancy now. They won't tell their boss the truth.
Sycophancy is
Yes.
normal then.
Because
To them.
that is their job.
Let me,
Instead of advising their bosses, they are even
Allow this your guy to tell you his own matter. Because
Okay.
now I started, no way.
Okay, let's see. No,
excuse me, no way. End of this matter yourself. What I'm asking is it true that Nigeria economy is moving forward?
It's not moving forward.
Is it true that the security is improving?
To me, it's my personal opinion.
Yes.
The security is not improving seriously as a person,
Okay.
because you
No,
can't-
don't go far.
Okay.
I'm asking these things so that we take the bullets. The public is watching us. Very soon I will open my phone line. They will come and tell us, you see that how people who are so much engulfed into partisan, Nigerians could like a party and will not think about whether the party does what is wrong or right. So they will also come out and ask you that, come, this is the best economy we have ever had in the world. Is Nigeria moving forward in terms of aviation? That's I'm talking about the federal. Nigeria Airlines died. Up to today, they could not resurrect. Are they moving forward in terms of aviation?
they are not moving forward because
You are
in the-
always going too far. You are not moving forward.
yes, they are not moving
Okay,
forward.
in terms of agriculture, Nigerian government, this present government banned importation of even food when a lot of countries in the world, including China, subsidize food. In terms of agriculture, when I bought locally manufactured rice in Akwa Ibom called Three Roses, beautiful brand. But do you know how much is it? 27,500 naira for 50 kg. That's local. That's the rice is produced in Akwa Ibom. That's a good thing to the government of. In terms of agriculture, is Nigerian government moving forward?
In terms of agriculture,
Yes, is it moving forward?
it's not moving forward. Why will you ban a product?
Then
and
you
yet
cannot
you're
even
not
have enough
producing.
food.
You're not producing.
No, you don't have enough food for your children, and you tell your children not to bake. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, when they touch holiday, people will call and tell you that those things make sense. Believe me. Good people, that is a way to stay. I hook up now and stay tuned for just a moment. And when we come back, Audacity of Truth Grammar School will continue. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You are watching Audacity of Truth that comes to you live from the studios of AKBC Channel 45 with you. Good people, welcome to Audacity of Truth Grammar School. In the school this morning, we have very few things to talk about. And most of them goes about pronunciation and elocution, as a matter of fact. Then do not say data. I have data. There's one jingle that somebody said, Mommy, I use the money to buy data. I know, don't say data. Don't say data. That thing is called what? Data. The invisible input into a computer or computing device or a storage device is called what? Data. It's not data. Now, do not say DEBT. Don't pronounce it as debt. Debtor. Debt. No. It is dates. Date as DATE. Dates. Abe pays the dates. Dates. And you are also called a debtor. A debtor, not a debtor. Thank you very much, good people. Do not say bumper. Bumper to bumper is correct. The fender that protects a car from the front and the back, the rear, is called what? Bumper, not bomber. You said, oh, it was driven bumper to bumper. No, it is bumper to bumper. That's a good thing to remember, good people. Do not say bending canal. No. There is no canal that is not a bend. Something to remember. So when you see bending canal, that's a superfluous, good people. There's no need to waste our time with bending canal. You can say a sharp bend, but then not a bending kana. You can say a bend or a kana, not a bending kana. Good people, do not say, how was your night? It's only in Nigeria you see people use that word just carelessly and say, oh, how was your night? Maybe he was talking about your sleep. How do you feel last night? Though he's talking about how was your night. How was your night could funnily be interpreted to mean something quite different from what you guessed to say. Maybe you were asking about the sleep, but you say, how was your night? How was your night means how was your sex? That's the truth about it. Yes, I know that my guests will enjoy this part of the program so much. Do not say chapel, but say chapel. Chapel, not chapel. Do not say sycophant. Do not say sycophant. Say what? Sycophant. Sycophant. Sycophantic, not sycophant. Good people, do not say hotel suits. What I'm wearing now is a suit. But if you see the spelling of the hotel room, it is S-U-I-T-E. That is suites. Hotel suites, not hotel suits. Good people, that is where I will end it now. Because I'm talking to journalists, let me also see your opinion about it. If there is anything to add, just anything. One
yes.
or two.
Yeah, I want to talk about two verbs that remains the same when it is in past tense and in past participle.
Yeah.
That is the verb cast, C-A-S-T.
Yeah.
Remains cast. But you can say casting, but you cannot say casted.
Yeah.
Remains cast in past tense and past tense. Also shed, like saying I shed tears. Shed remains shed in past tense and in past participle. Why they remain this way? Because they are irregular verbs.
Okay.
So that's mine.
Thank you, teacher. Anything to contribute on this?
Well, my only contribution on this is that learning is a dynamic process, and we learn every day.
Especially journalists are learned people.
Yeah.
Except those who don't want to improve.
Yes.
There are some journalists, some of your journalists, they started with O-level those days, got registered. They are veterans, but they refuse to go back to school. Some were with OND. For 30 years, you practice journalism with OND. So what do you think that the tertiary institutions are open everywhere for? It's good to improve yourself. So that a good journalist is called a learned person. Not only lawyers. Because we read every day. We improve ourselves every day. Especially those who stay at night. So long at night, working in quotes. Because sometimes the working could be in quotes. Anyway.
No, walking. Don't quote
walking.
walking. Walking is walking.
Because when you see bachelors telling you that they work so much at night.
You work so much at night.
That's a work too. Work is work.
Work so much at night.
I know, work is work. There's nothing wrong.
Heavily academic.
And that's what, forget about the status of work or the job load. Yes, Ima.
Since we
anything.
yes, I would like to ask a question. My own is not adding, but I want to confirm something. Since we learn every day.
Okay.
In those days, we used to have my name is, but now we have my names are. Please, which one is correct?
Okay. For the fact that you are interviewing me now, I don't know what I want to do because I'm surprised that I brought you to interview you now. Interview. Anyway, for the clarity of it, it has never been my names are. No matter how you the names supposed to be 20. For the fact that it is a name of a person, it is seen as a compound word. So my name is correct, and that is what it has been, and that's what it will be, and that's what it will be in the future, and that's what.
When somebody comes to say my names are, the brain should be corrected.
That's it.
Because perhaps the person is trying to be funny, and we hear those expressions almost on daily basis.
Yes.
Some
will argue with you that they are correct.
Yes.
Because the name more than one.
Your names are not your name is.
Yes,
so
because
I think,
because when you say what is your name, I say I am Samuel Josh Joshua. That is 3 words now makes up my name.
Yes.
What is your name? Samuel Joshua.
So I think what Audacity of Truth should also do when you are coming back to grammar school should be to correct expressions like what this one chairman has raised. I'm sure you've been hearing my names are.
You know that's true. It's true.
I don't know.
No, we have done most of those things.
Yes, it's very important.
Audacity of Truth is about 8 years old now.
Someone once embarrassed an audience.
Yes,
He stood up
from
to
NTA
address,
to AKBC.
He stood up to address a very large gathering, and what we heard was, "My name's." People started squeezing their faces.
And it could interest you also to know that Audacity of Truth in 2015, 21st of January and April 8th, 2015, this program hosted Mr. Udom Emmanuel.
That's fantastic.
So it's a big program. By the way, let me not blow my trumpet. Let me see my see.
You have to.
Director, please give me the phone
full
lines. Let me open the phone lines so that they will ask these wonderful people questions. Let them open the phone lines. See, you look afraid.
I'm not afraid. I know. As a chairman of the chapel, you don't have to be afraid.
I could only guess the only question that would rattle you. But I will not go that way. I hope the public wouldn't ask you that question. Anyway, if they ask you, they answer the truth. What is wrong about the truth?
This is Audacity of Truth.
That's
and I'll respond Audacity
truthfully. All truth.
Yes, I'll respond audaciously, truthfully.
Nothing than the truth. But the truth, you know. Yes. Hey, man, you are laughing at this matter so much. That's the first call that coming. I pray that the call goes through. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. From your TV set, or you lower it so much, so that we will be able to, so that the Falcon can hear the Falconer. Yes, you have a program now running. So what's the program? And then just let me see if we can get this. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, please, what's the name?
Okay, my name is Augustine Boniface Basil, and I'm calling in from Igonigo.
Okay, Augustine, please go ahead with your question.
Please, I don't want to ask a question, but I want to make an observation.
Please do.
Please, I want to find out, I want to ask and find out, why is it that at 9 o'clock, AKBC
Join the national news. Yes,
Hello?
please. That answer will be given to you next week, please. I have to consult with the management to give you the answer next week. Next week, Friday, you call, please. Thank you.
Please, I will do that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've been appreciated. God bless you. So we will note that question. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, please. Go ahead, please. What's the name?
Okay, sir. Sir, I was just
What's your name, please?
Okay. My name is Helen Ifyo.
Okay, Helen, please go ahead.
Okay, sir. So I heard how you pronounce your name. I was interested to ask again for you to pronounce it again. Let me hear.
Okay, my first name. My first name is Samuel.
Yes, Samuel. Why do you pronounce it like that?
Okay, because
I know most people call it Samuel.
Because he has always been Samuel, and then in the American descent they say Samuel. But then the W has never been there in the pronunciation. So Samuel is wrong. Samuel is wrong. What's your name again?
Helen.
Okay. Then.
Helen Ifyo.
Do you know how I would like to pronounce your name? First name? Do you know how I would like to pronounce your first name? I would like to pronounce your first name. No. If we are friends, I will pronounce your first name as Helen. Helen. Not Helen.
Helen.
Helen, yes.
Yes.
Do you appreciate that?
Yes.
What do you give to me for appreciating that?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Helen. Thank you for calling. You see, we are learning and then we are moving. Thank you very much for calling. God bless you. Yes.
Thank you.
In the GFA, yeah. The program is a hot program, so people will call in.
Yes, I know.
There will be so many calls. Yes. The program you're having now.
Yes, what we are having at the moment is the chapel week of the Federated Chapel. The Chapel Week is a 5-day engaging activity with the theme media credibility and
Media impact and
media
credibility.
impact on electoral credibility. That's the theme for this year's Chapel Week. And it was carefully selected because this is a political season. What impact should the media create to ensure that we have credible elections by 2023? The election that will give us new leaders by 2023.
Yeah.
What impact should the media create? And how should the media create this impact?
Yeah.
We've been having very serious engagement for the past 3 days. It started with a tour of select local government areas where we went to Ikorobasi and Ukanafun local government areas.
What did you see at the Ikorobasi?
Well, in
There are so many
Ikorobasi-
things to see at Ikorobasi.
Yeah, we saw so many things, saw a lot of things. We were conducted around the Lord Lugard house,
Okay.
Lord Lugard office.
Yeah.
The typewriter he used, the table he used, everything he used is still there. Even the product he used to hang his suit was still found there. The telephone was there, and a whole lot of others. But sadly, what we notice is that that building is dilapidated. In a couple of years, or say months, the building would have been so thoroughly embarrassed. And I don't know if it is the happiness of government, both at the local level and at the state level, that structure is the way it is. The sad part of it is that if something very seriously is not done about it, the cultural heritage of Akwa Ibom State would have been diminished. We also conducted to the Bridge of No Return, where we were introduced to where slaves were being kept before transportation. Inside that bridge, we saw what they called the slave bunk, and that slave bunk is supposed to carry just 30 persons. But then the tour guide informed us that slave bunks is where they put stubborn slaves, and they will store up to 150 human beings.
Supposing it was supposed to be like today, in this panel, who would have been kept
No,
inside?
I mean that all of us here would have been kept in the slave bunk.
Why?
Because
all of you are
the four of us,
four of who?
four of us seated here would be deposited in the slave bunk because it was meant for stubborn people.
But I'm a presenter, so I'm not a journalist in this program.
But in the context of slavery, if it was in those days,
Yeah. But did you go to the power plants?
no, we didn't visit the power plant.
Did you visit the ASCON, the Israel ASCON?
We passed through